Welcome back. In the last video, we installed the following plugins. We installed the Aweber Super Simple. We installed the Hide Post. We installed the Redirection plugin. We installed the Profile Builder plugin. And we installed the Add to Post plugin. So now all we have to do is go ahead and configure all of these. But before I do that, I want to just explain exactly what each one of these plugins does. The Add to Post is a really simple plugin that allows you to add content to the beginning of a post or to the end of a post or both automatically for you. So when you create a post to go on your blog, your membership site, you can have a little bit of text running in front of the post automatically and at the end of the post automatically. You can also put in shortcodes in there, which is going to come in really handy because we're going to use a shortcode to protect our content. The Aweber Super Simple, it runs in the background. It's a great plugin that automatically connects with your Aweber account and adds people who register for your membership site to go directly into your Aweber list that you designate. So it runs in the background, works really well. And the reason I gave you the URL for that particular plugin in the last video was because when you do a search for it inside your WordPress installation, it doesn't come up for some reason. It's not listed in the search function. So you need to go to wordpress.org into the plugin directory to download Aweber Super Simple directly. Hide Post is really the engine behind the membership site, and what it does is it creates it creates this little shortcode that allows you to hide your post from people who are not subscribed. So we put those posts in. Actually, we're going to use this little shortcode right here: hide post with the end bracket, into the Add to Post plugin, and you'll see it's very, very simple to do. And it will automatically protect all the content that you create for your membership site. And you don't even have to think about it because it runs automatically in the background. And there's very little configuration to do there. Basically, we're just going to use those shortcodes. The Profile Builder is a really cool little free plugin that allows you to customize your login, registration, profile pages, lost password pages, and more. And it gives you a seamless experience for the customer when they come to your site. They see that all of the registration and login pages, everything is directly on the site. You don't have to go to one of those ugly WordPress login pages or anything like that. Everything stays right on your site. It looks like a really high-end program running your site, but it's really just a free plugin. And Redirection, what it allows you to do is bypass most of the disadvantages of having people go to those WordPress standard pages to either get their lost passwords or whatever, and especially for the registration page. This is probably, Redirection will take a little bit more time to set up than all the rest of these plugins. The rest of them are pretty easy to set up, and it's going to go pretty fast. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to show you briefly how each one is configured. They're all pretty easy. I'll spend a little bit more time on Redirection because it's a little bit more complicated, but it's still very simple to do. And I'm also going to include a text file to give you all of the redirection links that you need in order to set up your membership site. Okay, so let's get right into configuring the WordPress plugins. The first plugin that we need to configure is the Hide Post plugin. Up here we have a little message that says you must enable Hide Post at its option page. So let's just click on that, and we just need to click that one box that says enable Hide Post. And the other thing that we need to do, because the next plugin is going to require it, is just to copy the shortcode here. We're just going to copy that whole shortcode text, and then we're going to save changes. Okay, let's go back to the plugin page, and then we're going to go to Add to Post. So we're going to go over here to Settings, and the submenu Add to Post. Okay, here we are at Add to Post, and like I said, what it allows you to do is put content before a post and after a post. And it does it automatically, so whenever you create a post, whatever you put in these two boxes to add to the top or to the bottom of the post is added automatically, which makes it great because what we're going to do is we're going to include the short code that we just copied. And what we want to do is put the ending shortcode below. We want to put and we only want to put the starting shortcode above. Just make sure that you have the brackets in there. So this is the starting shortcode, that's the ending shortcode. So anything in a post is going to be automatically protected from anyone who is not a member. So if they're not a member, they're not going to be able to see the post at all. You want to enable both the bottom and the top. And then what you can do is you can put a little, if you want to, you can add additional content down at the bottom. I usually include a copyright notice, and you can type in whatever it is that you want there. And then, you know what it does? It automatically copyrights all of your posts, and you can it's added to the end of your post automatically. And not only do members see that, but non-members see that as well, because it comes after that short tag, that ending short tag. So that's all we want to do for add to post. Very simple. We can go ahead and save those changes. And now let's go back to our plugin list. So we've already got two plugins configured, add to post and hide post. Now let's go over to Aweber Super Simple, which is in the settings submenu, Aweber Super Simple. There's only two boxes out of all of these that we need to fill out, and we need to check one box. In the text area for the Aweber Web Form ID, you just need to include the number of the form ID in here, and you get that from the HTML section of your Aweber code. And then we want to include the list name, the actual list name that you're using on your Aweber account. So let's go over to Aweber, and I'll show you exactly how to pull this information out from your account. I've logged into my Aweber account, and what we want to do is, after we've set up your form, you can use a very, very basic form here. And you want to click on I will install my link. So you've gone through the design, you've gone through the settings, and you're ready to publish. So you just click on I will install my form, and we want to go to the raw HTML version. And what we're looking for is the form ID. See this AF form 146741569. Well, you can take that right out of there, but you also, if you take a look at your browser window, the address bar also has that exact same number. So all we have to do is copy that, and then we're going to go back to our Aweber setup. That's the web form ID, just that number alone. Then we want to go back here and take a look at the name of our current list. The name of our current list is our list name. So we just want to enter that here. That's all you really need. We're going to check this box to subscribe on registration. That makes it automatic. So anyone who registers for our website is automatically sent the Aweber form that we set up over here. So we're just going to go ahead and save that. And they will get the confirmation link from Aweber, so they do have to click on it to confirm. However, they're automatically added to your Aweber list once they register for your membership site. All right, that's it for that plugin. Let's go back to our plugin list. The next one that we need to set up is the Profile Builder. The Profile Builder you're going to find under Users and Profile Builder. Now there is a pro version of the Profile Builder, but you really do not need that, since the free version contains just about everything you want. The only thing the pro version does is allow custom redirects, but we've solved that problem with our redirect free plugin. All right, what we need to do now is set up our custom pages. The first one we're going to set up is the login. We're going to copy that short code right there, which gives us a custom login form. And we're going to come over to Pages. And we want to add new. And we're going to call this Member Login. And all we have to do now is make sure that we are on the HTML tag. We don't want to go to the visual tag. We want to be on HTML. And we're just going to paste that short code in that we copied from the plugin. And then we're going to go ahead and publish. All right, now one thing that we really want to do here is take a look at this permalink. You can see that the standard WordPress setup gives you a page with an ID number appended to the end of it. We don't want that permalink structure. What we want to do is go over to our settings, and we want to come down to the general tag. And then we want to go to the permalinks. And what we want is a custom structure. We only want to use the post name in our URLs for our WordPress site. So we're going to hit Save Changes. Now we're going to go back to that page. And now we have a URL that we can use. And it's very important that we use that URL when we do our redirections. So now when a member is interested in logging in, they're going to go directly to this URL. All right, let's go back to our profile builder, and we're going to set up our next page. And that is, we're going to set up the edit profile page. Let's go back to pages, create new, and we're going to call this edit member profile. We're going to paste the short code that we just copied, making sure that we are in the HTML tag, and we have our permalink, and we're going to just go ahead and publish. And then we have 2 more pages to set up, so we need to go back to our profile builder, and we're going to copy this short code to recover, set up a custom page to recover a lost password. Go back to our pages, add new, and we're going to call this recover password. You can name it anything you want. You could call it lost password or anything else that you want. We're going to go ahead and make sure we're on the HTML tag and go ahead and publish that. All right, now let's take a look at the pages that we have created. And I'll give you an idea of what these are going to look like on our site. Let's open up the site in a new window. And you can see that each one of the pages we created is in the menu now. So if you're already a member and we're logged in, it shows your username and all of the other functions in here. This is our member profile page. So if a member wants to change their email address or they want to change their password, they can do that and update it directly on the site. We also have the member login page. Since we're already logged in, it says you are currently logged in, and it gives you your username. And there's also a link for a logout button that is inserted automatically by Profile Builder. So what we want to do is log out, and you can see that now we have a custom login page. We have a member login page with a username and password that's pre-filled in, and we can go ahead and log in. But let's go over to the recover password for a second. Recover password, again, is immediately inserted right into the site based on that short code that we cut and paste into this page. So all a user has to do is include their username or email and get a new password just by clicking the button. Let's go ahead and log in. Even administrators can use this login form in order to log into the site. So we're just going to use that to log in. It says we're successfully logged in, and it brought us to this page. Now let's go back to our WordPress admin file, and there's one more page that we need to set up, and this is probably the most important. So let's go to users, let's go back to Profile Builder, and we're going to click and highlight the register shortcode. We're just going to copy that. We're going to go back to pages. We're going to add new. We're going to call this register, and we're going to paste the short code right in there. Right, now this is really, really important because we don't want people to guess our registration page. Then what we want to do is change this permalink. We want to edit this. Now if you've used any kind of other membership software to run your WordPress site, you know that there is a unique URL that people are redirected to after they've paid you in order to register and set up their user account. Well, they use the exact same thing that we are going to be using by making the registration page difficult to guess. However, if anyone knew that URL, of course, they'd be able to paste it into their web browser and they'd be able to gain access by registering for your site. So we don't want it easy to guess. Now, obviously, this URL is very easy to guess. It's /register on your domain. So we want to change that. And the way we change that is by simply putting in a random number of characters and letters, similar to a password that you might use for your site. By making it random and also extremely long, it's going to be impossible for someone to guess that. So we're just going to click OK. We're going to go ahead and publish this site. And then we're going to take a look at this page. This is the registration page. This is your success page. So after someone has successfully paid you for a membership, they come here to register. And it's very important that this is a not easy to guess URL. By adding all of those numbers and random letters, you've really changed it so it's impossible for somebody to guess. And then you can simply send people who have successfully paid to that registration page. Like I said, almost every single membership script that I've ever used, including a number of really high-end scripts, use the exact same randomly generated characters and numbers in order to obscure the registration page. Now, there's one other thing that is totally optional, and you may want to think about doing this because I think it is important. Google indexes just about every single page on every single WordPress site that they can possibly find. And what you want to do is tell them not to index this and not to follow this page. So this is totally optional, but we'll go back to the plugin page for a second. We're going to go to Add New. And what we want to do is look for something called Easy No Index. And we're going to search on that, and we're going to install this. And what it does is it basically tells Google not to index that page and not to follow it. And we're just going to go ahead and install that now. And we're going to activate it. And then we're going to go back to the page we just created for the registration page. That's the only page that we really want to protect against Google indexing. We don't want it to show up in Google's search pages for our site. So what we want to do is we want to add, over on the right side, we have a new menu item. It's called Easy No Index and No Follow. We're going to add no index, and we're going to add no follow to this page, and we're going to hit update. That will give us additional protection that that page will not be indexed by Google. So now we're all set. We've got all our pages set up. There's only one thing that we need to do for our profile builder setup. Let's go. We've just looked at the basic information and grabbed these short codes so we can create our custom pages. Now we want to go over to general settings. We have a style sheet. We're going to leave it at default. The email confirmation feature is not activated. Your choices are yes or no. I tend to choose no. What that does is send out a confirmation email to your member once they've registered, and they have to click the link to activate a code in order to become a registered member. And that would be fine if you're using a free membership or something like that. But for a paid membership, I would leave that defaulted to no. Now what we want to do is take a look at who is going to see the admin bar on the front end. You may not want your subscriber, the person who becomes a member of your site, to see the admin bar on the front end of the when they log in, that little admin bar up here. So we want to hide that. So we want to save those changes. And then we're going to come down to the default profile fields. Let's take a look at that registration form again. There's a lot of information on this registration form. And we may not want all of this information, or even some of this information, from showing to a potential to a new member who has just paid and wants to access the content. So we have many different options. Let's go over to the profile. We definitely want them, of course, to choose a username. If they're a paid member, we may also want their first name and last name and make it required. Then it's optional whether or not you want a nickname. I'm just going to click hide that field. Display name publicly, we're going to hide that field as well. Contact information, we obviously want their email address because that's how they're going to be set up in the membership area. And we also want to make it required. Website, we don't need that. Their AIM address, we don't need that. The Yahoo IM, we don't need that, so we're going to hide that. The Google Talk, we're going to hide that as well. Biographical info. You may want that if you're setting up some sort of a membership site in which you want to know a little bit about your members, but we're going to hide that for now. And of course, new password we need to show, they need to select the password, and we need to make it required. So we're going to go ahead and save those changes. And then we're going to go back to the registration form and refresh this to see what we've got. Now the registration form is a little bit more streamlined. The only thing they need to do is fill out their username, their first name, last name, email address, and the password. And they are all set. All right, now Profile Builder is set up. The last plugin that we need to configure is our redirection. This plugin allows you to manage your 301 redirects and monitor 404 errors, and that's exactly why it was designed. What it does is it allows you to log people who are in URLs that come to your site, and if the URL is bad, maybe a page is missing, or a page was created before and then you deleted it, or you moved it, or you changed the URL. It allows you to find out what pages those are and then redirect them to the proper page. So we're using it in a slightly different way. Let's go to the redirection. It's under Tools and Submenu. Now, what I have done is, and included in this package, is a list of common redirect pages that we're going to be using. For example, the lost password page. We want a custom redirect for that page because we don't want them to go to that standard WordPress page. For example, if we go over here and we go to this URL, the one I just copied, we get this ugly WordPress standard page, and we want to change that. We want them to go to our new custom login page, or a lost password page, rather, this one right here, rather than this one. So what we want to do is we want to create a redirection for that. So we don't want them to go here, and we copied this URL, and we're going to come over to our redirection plugin, and our source URL is the one that we just copied. In our target URL is this one that we created, this page that we created. So we're just going to copy and paste that URL. We want them to go to this page and not the WordPress page. And we're just going to go ahead and add redirection. All of these other options really don't matter. We're just going to leave that at URL only, redirect to URL, and that's all we need to do. So now when people go to the lost password page, it should automatically come back right to this page. There we go. So even, let's say we go home and somebody types in this lost password, it goes directly to our custom page. So it works great. Now all we need to do is set up our other pages. So let's see what happens when we log out of our WordPress. We go to this ugly WordPress username and password. It's logged out. So we want to copy that. We don't want people, when they've logged out of our membership site, to get this logged out page. Instead, we want to redirect them someplace else. So let's go ahead and log back in. Go back to our redirection plugin. and the source URL is logged out. So we don't want people to go to that ugly page. Now, think of the possibilities here. When someone logs out from your site, maybe you want to give them a special message. So you could set up a page on your site that says something about special. So if you have a special for them, if you have a message for them, or anything like that, all you have to do is change the target URL to whatever page you want them to go to after they've logged out. We don't have a page called special yet. We haven't set that up. So what we want to do is when someone logs out, they go directly to our home page. We're going to add that as a redirection. Now when we log out, we should be taking directly to our home page. Let's log out. And there we go. We're redirected directly to our home page. All right, let's log back in again. And we can use our custom page to log in. And we're just going to go back to our dashboard here. The next thing we want to do is go to the login page. We don't want people to use the standard login. So we're going to copy that. We're going to come over here. And if people know WordPress really well, they could easily just get to this page without a problem. And we don't want these standard WordPress pages again. We want to use the custom pages that we've created. So we're going to copy that URL. We're going to come over back to redirection. The source URL is the login page, but what we want to do is we want to get people to go to our custom login page, which is member login. Then we're just going to go ahead and add redirection. And now if someone should know WordPress pretty well and they get to this login page, and if we hit refresh on this, it should take us to our custom page. There we go. So because we're already logged in, it doesn't show the member login form. We can log out, and here's the member login. So now we've got those pages set up. The last page, which is very, very important, is our registration page. Because if, like I said, if people know, let's log out here first. If people know WordPress very well, they can bypass our membership registration page and go directly to our registration page. But let's log in for a second because there's one change that we need to make before we continue. We need, in order for people to register for our website, we need to check this box that says anyone can register. And when they do register, their new user default role is subscriber, not admin, editor, author, or contributor. It's subscriber. We need to go ahead and save those changes. Okay, now when we go to that default registration page, it will allow us to register for this site. We needed to enable that to allow members to sign up. But if someone knows WordPress really well, all they have to do is append the domain with this string, and they can go directly to our registration for our WordPress site. We don't want that to happen because they can bypass and get a free membership. So what we need to do is go back to our redirection, and then we're going to copy and paste that source URL right in there. And what we want them to do is not, we don't want them to go directly to our registration page because that's only for paying customers. We can send them to our home page. We can send them to our sales message. So let's say they came and they figured, well, gee, I'm going to bypass their membership script and I'm going to go directly to the registration page. Instead, we can send them to our sales page. And we hit add redirection. Okay, now let's go over and set up a page, and we're going to add new, and we're going to call it sales page. You can, of course, name it anything that you want. And this is our sales page. And we're just going to go ahead and publish that. Okay, so now when anyone tries to access our registration page by appending our domain with this registration login URL, when they go to access that, instead they go directly to our sales page. That's very important because we don't want anybody to bypass our system and get access for free. So instead, if they try to register by using that WordPress default URL, they go directly to our sales page. And only real people who have paid us for a membership will be able to access the site. So we've got all of our plugins configured. If we take a look at the plugins that we have, we did hide post. We have that all set up now, so that we can hide our content. We have add to post, so it automatically protects all of our pages. Profile builder, so we have all of our custom pages set up for our members to be able to access their lost passwords, to edit their profile, and to register. Aweber Super Simple is set up so that all people have to do is register, and they'll be added to our Aweber list automatically. And the very important redirection plugin, which allows us to redirect people back to our website in a seamless way. So it looks like we're running a fairly high-end script here, but in fact we are running a number of free plugins that work together seamlessly. There's one thing else that we need to do. Right now, you see the menu that we have at the top, which includes edit profile, member login, recover password, and it is showing our registration page. So what we need to do is change the menu items. If we go back to appearance, we need to go to menus as a subhead. We need to add a menu. We're going to call it top menu. We're going to click create menu. And now what we want to do is select the pages that we want to add to it. Do we want to add our sales page? Maybe we might use that for our first page. We want recover password. We want the edit member profile page. We want the member login page. We're going to add that to the menu, but we're going to leave out the registration page. We don't want that showing to the public. So we want to change the order. Then we want to create, we want to use this as our primary menu. We're going to go ahead and click save. And now when we go back to this page and we refresh it, now we have the member login, the recover password, and the edit profile, edit member profile. We want to go over to the custom links, and we just want to put a link in there called home, which gives us a menu item back to our home page. We're going to add that to the menu, but I don't want it last. I want it first on the menu items. We're going to go ahead and hit save menu, and then we're going to come back to our site, and now we have a home page. So we've got our home, member login, recover password, edit member profile, and now we are all set to go. So we have everything that we need. There is one other thing that we could do, and that is if we go over to our widgets. Let's go down to our user section here and go to Profile Builder. This little login shortcode we can put in a sidebar. So for example, right now on our sidebar, there's no little menu item to log in. We have to click the member login button to log in. What I'd like to do is put a little login form right here for members. When they get to the site, all they have to do is go to the sidebar to log in rather than going to a separate page. Just makes it a little bit more convenient and more professional looking. So what we want to do is copy this shortcode, and then we're going to go up to Appearance, and we're going to go to Widgets. And the nice thing about this shortcode is all we need is a text widget, which we're going to put in our main sidebar. And all we have to do is copy and paste that shortcode right in there, and we're going to hit save. And we can go ahead and close that. And now when we go back to our page, let's log out first so I can show you exactly what this is going to look like. and we refresh this page, and now we have a little login right above here in the sidebar. So when members come, it's already pre-filled in if they want it to be with their username and password. So all they have to do is one click to log back into the site. There also automatically adds a little lost password link. So if anybody lost their password, they click on that, they go to our custom recover password page. So it's just a nice little extra touch, and it also shows that you're logged in with your username, and it has a log out button. All right, guys, that's it for configuring the plugins. The only thing that we need to do at this point is set up our payment processing, and then we are good to go, and we're going to start driving traffic to the site and getting our members to sign up and adding content. And we are done. See you in the next video.